my love? Thank you so much for tuning back into another video. I hope you are having an amazing Saturday thus far and that you had an amazing week and that the trend continues on into a beautiful rest of the weekend. But without further ado, let's head into today's topic. So today I want to talk about trusting your gut. Your gut, you know, that thing that's below your chest that gurgles about sometimes, that gives you weird little feelings that something's maybe right or not right. Yeah, that thing. You know, we tend to ignore that thing a lot, myself included, myself especially sometimes. Most of the time, if not all the time, I feel like I know exactly how I feel and what I want and what I should do. Anybody else out there? Can I get a show of hands? Yes, okay, thank you. So I feel like I already know how I should proceed with a situation, with an experience, but I don't listen to my inner voice, aka my gut, whatever you want to call it, the thing inside that is screaming at me to do the thing that I already know is right for me. Because I tend to trust other people's judgments or opinions or thoughts about the situation instead of listening to my own internal guidance. But that is not the path that I should be going down, and neither should you. And you want to know why? Because our gut tends to know exactly what to do. And we have learned not to trust it. We have learned to ignore it. We have learned to allow it to go from little whispers of explaining what the right path is to screaming. And that's why when we hear our gut so loudly, it's because we've ignored it for so long that it has to exert so much energy in order for us to even hear it and listen to it. And for me, this ranges from small decisions like what food should I eat for dinner tonight to larger decisions like what kind of job should I say yes to. And for both of those scenarios, I usually know exactly how I feel and exactly which path I want to go down, but I stuff down my own internal wisdom and I look to somebody else to have the answers for me. But then when I do that and I look to somebody else to read my mind and to know exactly what I want and need, then I become resentful towards that person for not knowing, and then it turns into an argument or a blaming game where I'm focusing all of my negative energy towards that person, when in reality what is actually happening is that I'm mad at myself because I didn't stand up for myself or allow my inner wisdom to bubble to the surface and be the thing that I choose to go forward with. But I think it's hard. I think it's something that we have learned to ignore in today's world. We have learned to listen to the authorities or to someone who has more power than us and assume that we know nothing because we don't have a certain status or a certain rapport as someone who knows things. But I don't think that really matters here, because within every single one of us, we have this connection to source, this connection to the universe and to the unconscious things that we cannot see or feel on a daily basis, or we can't even begin to understand. Every single one of us has that within our hearts, our souls, and our minds and our guts that are telling us to go in a certain direction. And we don't know why, we don't understand, but we don't need to. We need to follow that thread and go in the direction that it's pulling us. And I found that usually when I follow my gut, I end up being right, and it feels really good to trust myself. That even though that I don't know the direction that I'm going in, my subconscious or unconscious mind seems to understand something that I can't comprehend with my logical brain. And maybe why most of us don't trust ourselves is because it's a very vulnerable position to be in, because we've been told to ignore that part of us for so long that now we're unsure of whether or not we can really trust that voice inside of us that's telling us to go in a certain direction. But I think that voice inside is very powerful and it has more wisdom than we can even comprehend, and I think you should follow that. Wherever it's telling you to go right now, whatever it's telling you to do, make a daily practice of listening to yourself and trusting your own wisdom, because there's a lot in there. I promise you, if you just allow yourself to get quiet enough to hear it, to calm your mind, to calm your senses, to find yourself in the present moment like I mentioned in my previous video, then you can hear what your wisdom's trying to say. So I hope this gave you something to think about today. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday and a great rest of your weekend, and until next time, bye.